Hello, I am Professor Sayari. I want to say about Christian personality education in the post-corona period, focusing on Deuteronomy of the Old Testament. Most of the transitions in human history have come in a way that when resistance to change weakens and old customs are struggling with a cracking system, customs are dismantled and the system collapsed due to an unexpected external shock. The pandemic situation of COVID-19 has brought changes not only in Korea but also in many parts of society around the world. And the change is still ongoing. The appearance of the changes that have appeared since COVID-19 will allow us to experience a new everyday life called new normal, and humanity will live in a new world that has not been experienced so far. The same is true of Christian education, including at Christian universities. The pandemic situation that has come in an era when various church education and faith education have not exceeded the limits of smartphone held in the hands of teenagers, and college students can also reduce the limits of Christian personality education. Christian personality education is an education that takes place in an organic relationship with the faith community, with Christ as the head on the basis of conviction of being a child of God, the rule of history. In this era, where different generations are formed and lived as communities within the same era, Christian personality education begins with God's work and is an education conducted under God's guidance. In this era, where different generations are formed and lived as communities within the same era, Christian personality education begins with God's work and is an education conducted under God's guidance. This thesis aims to find the meaning of religious education that modern Christianity should bear, focusing on the Deuteronomy of the Old Testament, and to examine the meaning of Christian personality education that the community living in the post-corona era should recover. Religious education of the Old Testament. The typical catastrophes in the Old Testament are the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple in 586 BC. In the book The Rise of Christian Education, the master of Christian pedagogy, Sherrill, explains the religious education of the Old Testament by dividing it before and after the catastrophe of 586 BC. Until the fall of the kingdom after the Exodus, there were no special forms of school education in the Old Testament, and no specific teachers. However, parents, prophets, and priests who were in contact in life played the role of teachers, and education by parents was very important. and the Shema was thoroughly practiced. The family was thought to be a channel of God, and family education was carried out through vocational education for survival, controlled by the father's absolute authority, and practiced by parents at home by oral tradition. And the main content was about religious consciousness. The core idea of law education is based on the Israelites' faith in the Exodus. Parents made the teaching of these historical memories to the truth of the oral or written law to their children at home as the core of the education. After the fall of the kingdom, the Hebrew education changed from the traditional way. In a national crisis, the so-called remnant or servants of suffering taught in the synagogues the Torah, known as God's will or law. Instead of the parents of the family, the head of the synagogue was in charge of religious and educational activities, and there was an expert in the synagogue called Hatjan. Hatjan assisted in ceremonies and was in charge of education. The educational content was Shema and prayer and reading the Bible and interpretation of the Bible by the prophet and the benediction of the priest. It is noteworthy that in this era, educational awareness began to be organized and institutionalized. That's very important. A school in charge of elementary school called Bet HaSefer. Bet HaSefer means house of books. Bet means house and HaSefer means books. Bet HaSefer appeared, and from the age of 6, the Torah was read and memorized teaching methods were conducted. The educational institution responsible for the secondary and tertiary courses was Bet Talmud or Bet HaMidrash. Bet HaMidrash means house of research. Here, education was mainly conducted with questions and answers and explanations. The final form of formal education was the academy, a place where the Torah was studied in the same process as a modern seminary. The content of religious education in the Old Testament was mainly knowledge of knowing the revelation and will of God. And the content was specifically the Bible, especially the Torah. Exodus generation and wilderness generation. Let me introduce the book of Deuteronomy first. The theological weight of Deuteronomy in the Old Testament is enormous, as Gerhard von Rad, who is said to be the master of the Old Testament studies in the 20th century. He said the theological center of the Old Testament is Deuteronomy. It is also the book of the Old Testament that the New Testament is the most cited after the Psalms, 83 times. For example, when Jesus, who had finished fasting 40 days, was tried by the devil in the wilderness, the 3 words he said against the devil are all quoted from Deuteronomy. The 40 years of life in the wilderness after Exodus was the history of Israel's disobedience and rebellion to God. However, even in the history of such disobedience, it teaches us to live like God's people while obeying the word of God. When the Israelites entered the promised land and lived, it can be said that Deuteronomy is the record of the words Moses re-explained about the norm of life that must be observed. The central theme in the Old Testament is the special relationship between God and Israel. God is the God of Israel, and Israel is the people of God. Israel was a specially chosen people as God's people. Then, why did God specifically choose Israel among many people? What wonderful things made the Israelites the chosen people? To this question, the Old Testament answers. The reason God chose Israel was because He loved Israel. There are many peoples on earth, but God has made Israel a special distinction for His people. The term chosen people is also a language used in connection with choice. Hebrew segula means own or a treasured possession. God made Israel His special possession. We can raise the question again. Then, why did God love Israel? Why? God loved and chose Israel not because they had special conditions to be loved. Israel's becoming a people of God is a gift of God's grace, given without any conditions. On the other hand, for Israel, to be a people of God was an indescribable glory and a great privilege that other people could not enjoy. However, just as a coin has 2 sides, there is another side to the fact that God chose Israel. It is that Israel is God's chosen people, so we must that people of Israel must live like God's people and like the chosen people. The privilege of Israel's choice as a chosen people comes with a corresponding responsibility. Religious education in the Old Testament gives the answer to this. After the Exodus, while the Israelites lived in a life of suffering in the wilderness, God Himself taught Israel 2 times the way to live as God's people through Moses. The first is the Torah from Sinai. This is recorded in Exodus 19 to Numbers 10:10. Second, just before entering the promised land, he gave the words of Torah once again in the plains of Moab. This is recorded in Deuteronomy 12 to 26. It gives an important meaning that all the words of the Torah that God gave to Israel were given during the wilderness period before entering the promised land. The wilderness life experienced by Israel was a series of extreme hardship. However, religiously, this period was a period of grace that God gave Israel all the norms and rules for living as God's people. The period of suffering was the period of grace. Deuteronomy tells us not to forget the history of salvation that Israel experienced, and to make known to your sons and your grandsons. What is it to know? There are 2 main things Israel must remember and convey. The first is the Exodus case. The event that brought Israel into the land is the Exodus event. And God of Israel as a community is the God of Exodus above all cases. So, remembering the events of the Exodus does not mean simply remembering events in the past, but also remembering God who saved his suffering people. Second is the memory of life in the wilderness. We must remember the events of Israel's rebellion against God during the 40 years spent in the wilderness and God's faithfulness toward Israel. What was needed for this was education for religion. Behind this emphasis lies the difference between the generations of Exodus and the generation of wilderness. The generation of the Exodus experienced all the great things that the Lord did, but the generation of the wilderness did not experience the things such as the miracles and wonders that took place in Egypt during the Exodus, and the miracles at the Red Sea, and Israel's disobedience in the Sinai wilderness. Conflicts between generations have existed all the time, at all times. The Old Testament teaches that these conflicts between 2 generations should be solved by education. It was the responsibility of the Exodus generation. In 2020, everyone expected that the advancement of computer-based convergence technological science in the era of the fourth industrial revolution will be combined with the fields of physics, digital, and biology to make human life more comfortable and happier. However, such expectations and hopes have changed in an environment of concern and despair due to the COVID-19 pandemic that appeared in the early 2020. The pandemic situation of COVID-19 is calling for total change in Korean Christianity and the Church. Just as the Exodus generation and the wilderness generation had to live in a completely different era, today's era also has some difficulties in different communities that must follow the change trend within the same era. However, there are important principles in the survival of all communities that should not be lost in the midst of change. The book of Deuteronomy in the Old Testament presents important principles that the Christian community should not lose. In the Old Testament era, the most important place for religious education was home. At home, parents had to strive to teach their children the Torah and the legacy. Parents did not fulfill their responsibilities by providing only abundant food, clothing, and shelter for their children. He had a responsibility as a religious educator at home. The reason parents were the most important educators of faith and religious education is that they spent more time at home. How should Christianity and church education accept post-corona? In human history, Christianity shined through its existence during crisis. The credibility of Christianity and the church, which has fallen from Korean society, can be restored when the community experiences the spirit of Christianity and the sincerity of the church. Although the difficulties caused by the corona continue, though suffering, we will become stronger internally and trained in mutual beings. We will have to practice a wise lifestyle with a long breath while reflecting on our way of life with a positive and optimistic mind. If we vaguely wait for a new era, nothing is given. What is given is an unexpected crisis, and overcoming it is the human will. Deuteronomy presents a path for the wilderness generation who must live in a new era different from the Exodus generation. It will be said that it is the responsibility given to us to live in the post-corona era, to pursue a world that fits the values pursued by each community in a changing era, but to keep the values that should not be lost amid those changes. Thank you.